Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network. Yeah. I mean, I said this one too. You said Don Jr. is whining on social media about how he has to explain to his kids that people are trying to hurt their grandpa. I'd love to know how the conversation went when he told them their grandpa's a racist or rapist. Oh, excuse me, both.
Both of it.
Well, yeah.
Sorry.
Freudian slip.
Rapist. Sorry.
Hey, it's a C or a P on any given day. They're both worth 3 points in Scrabble. Use what you want.
But I mean, I know. This is the guy that, posted the underwear and the hammer. Oh, my Paul Pelosi Halloween costume. Ha, ha, ha. Remember it was hilarious? Mm-hmm. And Paul Pelosi was seriously, grievously injured. I mean, it's just...
Also, what's laughable is that he wants us to believe he actually sits down and talks to his children.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, exactly. It's all, you don't even know, as we always say, what's distracting from what. Maybe just his disastrous debate performance. But you retweeted Pete Buttigieg, who said, cats, dog, geese, Laura Loomer. Look, now he's attacking Taylor. Like the last season before a show gets canceled for getting over the top and at the same time boring. This election is about jobs, wages, climate, healthcare, abortion, not his show, your life. And we were saying earlier, Dr. Redlener, it is extraordinary how Kamala and Tim are putting their heads down and running a campaign talking to you, the American voter, with all of this nonsense and noise and chaos and hatefulness and racism. It's extraordinary.
That's exactly what they're doing. Buttigieg talked about it on an interview that this is a tactic. If he says something outrageous and outlandish and the media follows it and we start retweeting it and that's all we're talking about, we're not talking about his incredibly failed policies. I don't think he's smart enough to actually make this a campaign, a goal. I think it's the people around him that are doing this, but it's exactly what's happening. And unfortunately, we fall for it every single time. He was told that this wasn't real. The stories weren't real about the cats and the dogs and the eating of the animals in Springfield before the debate, and he still regurgitated it on national television with fervor, like he believed it. And I really actually believe he does. I don't think he can tell the difference between reality and fiction anymore.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah, and J.D. Vance, right? They submit this stupid police report of a woman that said, is it Miss Sassy? Mrs. Sassy?
Miss Sassy.
Miss Sassy, the cat.
Uh-huh.
This lady's a Trumper. And she's like, oh, sorry, she was in the basement, and then apologized to her Haitian neighbor. But you've got, a presidential candidate who will not ever apologize or admit they were wrong. This whole thing was based on a lie.
It's embarrassing. And when J.D. Vance is on a national television show saying he's happy to make up stories so that the press actually pays attention to the troubles of American people, there is something seriously wrong with that.
Yeah. Thank you for your all caps tweet. I love Taylor Swift. Because we're all in fourth grade now.
All of us. We have to be.
Yeah. But also good point. You said I can't stress this enough. Please do not shoot Donald Trump. I need him to lose to Kamala Harris on November 5th. Thank you. Any person I know, any Democrat in the public eye has never called for violence against Donald Trump. They want
Not
him to
out
be,
loud.
They want him to. They want him to be humiliated at the ballot box and go to prison where he belongs.
Absolutely. Listen, we all have our inside voices. Forgive yourselves for those moments where you're not necessarily your highest self, but none of us are advocating for this. Every single one of us knows that this would cause a civil war in this country. Yeah. Every lunatic with an AR-15.
Yeah.
Oh, every lunatic with an AR-15 would walk out in the streets and start shooting anyone that looked like a liberal, gay, a black person, anyone they thought was an immigrant. It would be horrible.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, I don't have a higher self, so that's never a dilemma for me. So thank you.
When they go low, Steph goes lower.
Yep.
I was already there. When they go low, I was already there. And lower.
I welcome them with open arms.
There's little, slivers of light, Dana, that I'd like to share with you. A coalition of Colorado religious leaders endorsed a ballot measure that would remove language in the state constitution banning same-sex marriage. As you know, the governor of Colorado is in a same-sex marriage.
Yes.
I just, we just had Joan Baez on, which was amazing. But, you look at everything she did in the 60s and the fact that we have to try to get women's rights back that we had for 50 years, or that gay people have to go, oh, they might do this thing they did to us out here in California and take a right away we already have to be married. But
absolutely.
You have to hope there's people like the John Fugelsang's of the world that are speaking eloquent Bible. And I have to hope that enough people are going to take their religion back at some point and just say it is not about hate.
I would agree with you. And I think we all know this. They're the minority. They're not the silent. I love that they call themselves the silent majority. They're one, not the majority, and they're not silent. But I do think there's more of us than there is of them. They're just really, really loud. And so I think we need to get louder. We've already done it. We took the flag back. We're chanting USA at these rallies for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. We're putting flags up in our front yards again. I think its shift is happening.
Reverend
and
Warnock,
yeah,
Warnock took it to church at
Yep.
the DNC,
Yep.
right?
absolutely. All of it. All of it.
Yeah. So do you feel sometimes like this campaign is just like I never took acid, but it feels like what an acid flashback.
Yes.
Trump basically claims the Harris campaign was illegally spying on him. Are we back to Obama was tapping my wires?
Yeah.
While he was tapping a porn star, I think.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, I see what you did there. He went right
Hey,
for the sleazy
that was
show.
funny.
That's a good girl. Okay. Mama's so proud. Trump accused Kamala Harris of illegally spying on his campaign, asked whether she would resign in disgrace so the communist left can pick a new nominee. He just lives in a constant delusion, right? Like Joe Biden's going to come back, and there was like people cheering for him at the debate when there was no audience, and I don't. Okay. So the FBI confirmed that Iranian hackers infiltrated the Trump campaign system on August 12th, sought to interest Joe Biden in unsolicited emails containing stolen Trump campaign documents to interfere in the 2024 election. You know what they did, Dana? They alerted the FBI, which is what the Trump campaign should have done in 2016 about Russia, but of course they didn't. Did the opposite. They're like, I love it, especially in September. I mean, arranged meetings, colluded massively. FBI officials stated in the report there was no indication that anyone on the Biden team responded. Harris's campaign said it dismissed the emails as unwelcome, unacceptable, malicious activity, treating them as potential spam. So, which is what you're supposed to do. Right. But of course, both sides do it. Right. So Trump's just going to, claim they did something that they didn't, that he did.
He's going to be out as outlandish as possible. And we already know this. He's a projector. I do think we should keep an eye on his social media, because I think everything from here on out to she buses people in and pays them to go to her rallies, which is what he does. And we can see Craigslist ads. I mean, there's receipts for all of this. But he's literally the biggest narcissistic projector I think any of us have experienced in our lives. He is the master gaslighter. And most of us aren't falling for it anymore. But unfortunately, his cult is too far gone. But I would keep an eye on his social media, because I think he's going to start saying the quiet things out loud, all the things that his campaign has done.
God, I know. We were saying there's no more dog whistles. We just played the clip of Rich Lowry saying the N-word. He said the N-word, and then they try to tell you didn't hear what you heard. I mean,
I also am. Yeah. I am shocked. There is not that. I mean, if there's a live show, even we have a delay on this show.
Right.
That came out of his mouth for them to not can it, and they put it out, is beyond me.
Well, it's her podcast, so I don't think.
Kelly?
Yeah, it's a podcast, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they're all
live, but is it a live podcast?
It's a live show on Sirius XM, but they don't have a delay because they don't need one.
Right.
I understand. They don't have the same rules, so they could say the N word and the F word.
They can say
yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not that anyone on the show would ever say the N word.
Right. As someone said, if you don't say that privately, you don't accidentally blurt that out on a live microphone. If it's something you never say.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, if you get tongue-tied and that comes out of your mouth, oh my God, correct it immediately.
Yeah.
Don't just keep moving.
Here's what just before we break, Dana, the through line always and forever, and this goes back a long way to Dick Armey. Yes, Penis Air Force, his original name, but still. They insult people's intelligence, and I don't get why people are okay with that. When Dick Armey said, he just mispronounced Barney Frank's last name when he called him Barney Fag. And I'm like, really? Do you really think people believe that has nothing to do with Barney Frank being gay? I mean,
they're insulting people's intelligence. In order for that to be true, they have to have intelligence to insult. We on this side understand that those are not gaffes. I don't even know if that's how you say the right word. The other side does not challenge it because they're like, they don't even realize it's not right. If
you're going to be racist, just own it. Don't tell us that that's how I mispronounced migrant, which is not close to the N-word at all. Anyway.
There's no denying it. The vibes are really good right now. But vibes alone won't save our democracy. we need votes. At the Grassroots Democrats HQ, we know what it takes to win elections. Knocking doors, making calls, sending texts, and writing postcards. If we're going to elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and give them the Democratic Congress to pass their agenda, then we need to roll up our sleeves and talk to a record number of voters between now and November 5th. But let's be clear, we can't do it without you. So, are you ready to work? This is a fight for freedom and our future, and everything is at stake. Don't wake up on November 6th wishing you had done more. Join us. Go to grassrootsdems.org today to sign up to volunteer, and let's go win this thing.